It's a beautiful day for remote learning, a beautiful day for a lesson. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a studently day in this beauty wood, a studently day for a lesson. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a student just like you. I've always wanted to teach in a classroom with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my student?
Hi everyone, welcome back to Miss Nichols' Neighborhood. It's me, your teacher, Miss Nickel, and I'm here with my best remote teacher helper, my sister Kaylee Nickel.
Hi.
Hi. Today we're pretty excited because we're going to continue learning all about time and being able to read clocks. Today's lesson specifically is going to be about being able to tell time to the half hour on analog clocks. Now you might be like, what's half hour? That's okay. Today's lesson is going to be all about that. Before we start learning about half hour and jumping into projector practice problems, let's go ahead and review what we have learned so far about being able to read analog clocks, okay? So right here is an example of an analog clock. We said that a few times in previous lessons. Analog clocks have hands that move, okay? We also learned how this shorthand is the hour hand, okay? Wherever the hour hand points, that's what hour it is. Then we learned how the long hand is the minute hand that tells the minute of the hour. And in our previous lesson videos, we practiced reading time just to the hour, okay? Then we learned how we could read a clock that looks like this. Let's go ahead and warm up by practicing that. We remember that we start by looking at where the short hour hand is. Okay, what hour is that short hour hand pointing to?
3.
3, very good. It's 3, and then hopefully we remember whenever the long minute hand's pointing straight up, we say a special phrase. What do we say?
Okay.
O'clock. Good. So you put it together, you'd read the hour, then the minute. You'd read it as 3 o'clock. Very good. And we are remembering that whenever that long minute hand's pointing straight up, we say o'clock. The hour hand could be pointing at any hour, but whenever that long minute hand points straight up, we say the hour, then o'clock. Okay. Hopefully we're remembering this. Hopefully we got really good at telling time to the hour, okay? Now we're going to learn a little more about time, telling time on clocks, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let me reintroduce you or introduce you to the idea that each minute, after 60 seconds, each minute, the minute hand moves. A minute passes, it moves. Okay? Another minute passes, it would move again. And moves each minute around the clock. Okay? So this is where we kind of have to learn a little bit more about how that long minute hand is actually a double agent. The hour hand will always say the number that the clock says, but the long minute hand is a double agent. It uses different names, okay? Instead, let's say another minute passes, another minute. This doesn't mean, 1 minute passes. No. That actually means that 5 minutes have passed. Well, I know this is a lot to take in, okay? But let's just breathe. I want to keep re-explaining it, okay?
Yeah.
The minute hand moves around the clock. each time it gets to one of the big numbers that we use to read the hour, that means that 5 minutes have passed. So this would be 5 minutes, 3:05. But we don't need to learn that right now, okay? And then let's say it keeps going 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10 minutes. Oh, I know, it keeps going around the clock. Each minute, that minute hand moves, okay? And our counting by 5 kind of helps us read a clock. And even though we're not going that far in depth about telling time on a clock, just want to kind of be aware of it, okay? But let's keep going. Another minute, 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes pass. Then we keep going, 16 minutes, 17 minutes, 18, 19, 20 minutes. We're almost to the half hour we're going to learn about today. 21 minutes, 22 minutes, 23, 24, 25 minutes. Almost there. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 minutes. 30 minutes have passed. If you counted each of these little lines, each minute tick mark, that would be 30 minutes have passed. But you might be like, Miss Nickel, that minute hand is pointing towards the 6. I know, okay? But this is why we have to start to recognize how that long minute hand is actually a double agent. Just like how when the minute hand was pointing up here, we had to read it as o'clock. Well, after 30 minutes pass and it points straight down, that means we say half past. Okay, you might be like, what? Half past what? Well, it's because we've gone halfway around the clock. Half an hour has passed. If you look at this big circle of the clock, cut it in half, right there is the half. So when the minute hand's straight up, o'clock. After 30 minutes have passed, that's when we say half past, then read the hour. I know, we gotta switch it, and it's so strange, it's a little different, okay? So let me go ahead. I know, hopefully we've kind of accepted the fact that we have to learn how the minute hand actually goes by many different names. These numbers actually mean many different things when you're in the minute hand, okay? Yeah. When the minute hand's pointing straight down, we can switch how we read time, and we can start with that minute hand. We say half past, okay? Let's practice saying that. Say half past, half past. Again, half past, half past. But what is it half past? Half past what hour? We read the minute hand. Now we go back, look at the hour hand. You may have noticed that as the minutes ticked on, that hour hand started to move closer and closer to the next hour, okay? You might be like, it's not pointing to an hour anymore, Miss Nickel. I know, it may not be pointing directly to it, but we look back to the closest number. That's the hour, okay? So again, trying to put this together, when you see that minute hand pointing straight down, we're going to read it today as half past. Then, what's the hour that it's closest? If you look right back, what hour did it come from? What hour is it still? 3. Very good. So you put it together. It's half past 3. Imagine like a little loop back. Half past 3. Okay, that's going to be the main thing we're doing in this lesson today. Let me pretend that more minutes tick on. Oh, I bet we know how to read this. It's back to top of the hour. The minute hand's back at the top. So we'd read it. We switch back now. Read the hour, then the minute. What hour is the short hour hand pointing to now?
4.
4. Very good. It's 4. Then hopefully we didn't forget already. What special words do we say when that minute hand's pointing straight up? O'clock. Good. 4 o'clock. Then let's say we speed up time and 30 minutes pass. Here it goes. 30 minutes. Oh, 30 minutes have gone by. Now let's review how we're going to read time like this today. We got to switch how we read the clock. This time we're going to look at where that long minute hand is first. Since it's pointing straight down, we now say half past. Then go back, read the hour. What hour is that short hour hand still in? Where is it moving from? What hour is it still in?
4.
4. Very good. So you put it together. Half past 4.
Yeah.
Very good. So this is what we're going to be working on today. All of our practice problems today are going to be about being able to read time to this half hour. We're going to have to answer, it's half past what hour? Okay? Hopefully this example without the projector and the glare on the clock has helped, okay? Let's get ready. Kayla and I are going to get the projector ready and come back with lots of practice problems to really help us understand this and get used to reading time to the half hour.
Yeah.
Here we are with our first few sets of practice problems. I'm excited to get right to it and help us get started. So, remember what we just talked about, okay? How when the minute hand's pointing straight up, we say o'clock. But when it's pointing straight down, we read it as half past and have to find the hour, okay?
Yeah.
So let's see, maybe you can see it up here on the screen. If not, we also have it here, okay? Trying to make sure it's not in glare. Look very closely. I see the short hour hand and I see the minute hand. Where is that minute hand pointing to? Straight up or straight down? Straight down towards the 6. Very good.
Yeah.
So that means we got to switch kind of how we read it. Plus, our questions, what we have to fill in the blank says half past. They want us to read it like that, okay? You'll find out in the next lesson there's actually multiple ways we can read time to the half hour. But today, focusing on how it's half past, they tried to show you there by coloring the clock. It's half past. Now we go and find what hour is that hour hand pointing to. Maybe it's not pointing directly to a number. That means we need to look at the number. You kind of loop backwards, okay? The number or hour it's still part of or the hour it was moving from, okay? Or between the two, it's always the lesser or smaller number. That might help us too. So right here, that hour hand, I know it's not pointing directly to a number, but it's coming from 9. Because if you compare 10 or 9, the two numbers is between, you're going to choose, the hour hand was moving from the 9, okay? So this clock, this time is reading half past 9, right there. Half past 9. So that means on our problem right here, we fill in the blank. Half past 9. Good job. Did my best to write it. I know you'll write your answers even nicer on your learning packets, okay? Let's go ahead and start looking at problem number 2, okay? I'm going to move the clock to get it ready. There we go. Maybe you can see it on the screen. If not, also have it here. I'm trying to hold it, so hopefully it's not in so much of glare. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead right away. I see I have a short hour hand, but also that long minute hand. Where's that long minute hand pointing to? Is it pointing straight up or straight down? What's that, Kaylee?
What's that?
Straight down. Good. That means I can read this time as half past. Then I have to find what hour it's halfway through. Okay? What hour are we halfway through? It's half past what hour? Okay? So half past. Then we go look at the hour hand. What hour is that hour hand coming from?
What?
Yes, the 1. Okay, because look, it was 1 o'clock, but then 30 minutes passed. But even though that hour hand moved because it's getting closer to 2 o'clock, it doesn't mean it's 2 o'clock yet. It's still in what hour?
Oh, what?
1. Good. So it's half past 1. I know I'm really modeling a lot of these problems, really walking us through it. So since it's half past 1, we write that up here. Half past 1. There we go. Half past 1. Very good. Because we see that long minute hand pointing straight down, meaning half an hour has passed. From what hour that started? 1. Okay? Very good. And maybe it might help you find what hour it is by comparing the 1 and 2. Okay? It's a smaller number usually, lesser number there. Or think about how you have that hand that loops back. Loops back to that 1. That's the hour it's coming from. That's the hour it's still in. Okay? Just trying to give you many different ways. Hopefully help this stick in our head. Okay, let's start looking at problem number 3. Gonna get it ready. Remembering that if the long minute hand is pointing straight down, then it means that it's half past something. Half an hour has passed. You cut the clock in half, that's half an hour. Okay, maybe you can see it on the screen. Maybe you can also see it here on this clock, okay? Let's go ahead. Right away, we take notice. The minute hand's pointing straight down. So that means we read it as half past, okay?
Yeah.
With half past, now we need to find what hour it's half past, okay? Is it pointing towards the 7? No. Is it pointing directly at the 6? No. But we got to think about where did that hour hand start? Okay? It started at the 6. So really, what hour is it? 6. Very good. Because look, I'm going to move back the clock. It was 6 o'clock. Look, watch the hour hand as the minute hand goes halfway around the clock. 30 minutes pass. That hour hand moves a little bit. But is it touching the 7 yet?
No.
No, because it's not 7 o'clock yet. It's still what hour?
6.
6. Very good. So it's half past 6. Very good. Half past 6. We write that here. Half past 6.
That's it.
A little funky. I'm going to try one more time. Try one last time. Okay, I'll take it. Half past 6. Very good. Okay, let's try the next one. I'm going to move the clock around. Try to start looking at the screen if you can. Okay, maybe you see it there. Maybe you hopefully also see it here on the clock, okay? I know usually we'd look right at the hour hand, but when we see that minute hand's pointing straight down, one of the ways we can read a clock, that minute hand's pointing straight down at the 6, that means half an hour has passed. We're halfway through the hour, halfway around the clock. That means we can read it as half past, then we go read the hour hand. Okay? Half past. What hour is it?
3.
3. Very good. Maybe if that's what you were starting to think about or follow along at home saying, good job. Yep, it's half past 3. I know you might be like, it's not pointing directly at the 3. I know, we gotta compare, okay, between 3 and 4. It's not 4 o'clock yet. It's the lesser number that's still part of 3, okay? Maybe envision looping that short hour hand back to find the hour. 3, okay? So it's half past 3. Good. Then we finish filling in the blank. Half past 3. Better. I gotta recalibrate. But half past 3. Okay? That long minute hand pointing straight down. Half past. Then we find the hour. Now it's halfway through. Halfway through 3. And you can even envision it by looping it back. Okay? Taking that hour hand, looking back. What hour is it still part of? What hour is it starting from? 3.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully we're starting to see the pattern and getting used to reading how when the long minute hand is pointing straight down, one of the ways we can read the time is by reading it as half past, then the hour. Okay? Don't worry if you're not quite sure yet. Kaylee and I are going to come back with quite a few more practice problems to do. Here we are with our next 4 practice problems. We're still working on getting used to reading time to the half hour, okay? We got to remember, whenever that long minute hand's pointing straight down, one of the ways we can tell time is by reading it as half past, meaning 30 minutes, half an hour has passed from what hour, you know? What hour are we halfway through? So you read that minute hand as half past, then you go find the hour, okay? Just kind of a way to help us. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our next problem, problem number 5. Maybe you can kind of hopefully see it on the screen. If not, I also have it here, trying to not have it so much in the glare, but yet still in the camera, hopefully so. Okay, we look closely. Well, once again, we see that minute hand is pointing straight down, meaning 30 minutes, half an hour has passed. So we can read it as half past, then we have to go find what hour are we halfway through. It's half past what hour? Let's look very closely. I see the hour hand, it's between the 10 and 11. So what's the hour?
Right.
Remember, between the numbers, it's going to be usually, we'll talk about that later, usually the smaller, less number. The number that comes first when counting. Okay? So between 11 and 10, which is the smaller number? What do you say first when counting? Or even as you go around the clock, what do you go hit first? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which of those numbers comes first?
10.
10, yes. So what's the hour? It's halfway through? 10. It's half past 10. And a way to help you envision that, I'm going to just back up time. Usually would not go like that. It was 10 o'clock. And then 30 minutes, half an hour passes. Okay, even though 30 minutes have passed and the hour hand's moved a little bit, it's still what hour? 10.
10.
That's why I read it as half past 10. Good. And then we'd go ahead and we'd fill in the blank here. Half past 10, like we said. Nice job. Half past 10. Okay, let's keep it up. Let's look at problem number 6. Maybe you can see it on the screen. I'm also going to get it ready awkwardly to the side over here. Okay. We see right away that we have a minute hand that's pointing straight down. So we can already know in our brain, half an hour, 30 minutes, halfway through the hour has passed. So we read it as half past what hour?
Wait.
Half past what hour? It's between the 2 and the 3. Think about 2 and 3. What's the smaller, lesser number? When you're going around the clock, 1, 2. What number comes first?
2.
2, yes, okay. So it's half past what hour?
2.
2, very good. Half past 2. Again, I know it can be tricky to tell what hour it's past, but you need to look at the numbers. Loop back. The smaller, lesser number usually. The number that if you started at the top of the clock, worked around, the number that comes first. Okay? So in this case, half past 2. Nice. So then we go ahead, finish filling in the blank here. Half past 2. That went a little off, to say the least. Good. That's better. Half past 2. And like I said about looping it around, you can take that short hour hand, and even if you need to draw it on your learning package, draw towards the number back. Okay? Take the hour hand, loop back to the 2. Okay? Kind of went a little messy. Take the hour hand. It came from what hour? 2. Okay. Whew, let's keep going. Keep getting some practice in there. Let's start looking at problem number 7. Gonna get it ready here on the clock. Okay. Maybe you're able to see it on the screen. If not, right here as well. Right away, we our brain kind of sees, oh, there's that long minute hand pointing straight down. So we already know one of the ways we can read this time is by saying half past. Okay, half past. Then what hour? Think. It's between 5 and 6. If you started here and went around the clock, what number comes first? Start at 12, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which of those numbers, 5 or 6, comes first?
5.
5, yes, meaning it's half past 5. Okay? Or if you were to kind of draw on your learning packet or draw on your brain, you hook it back to that number. Half past 5. Good. So then we do our best to write that on our learning packet. Half past 5. Nice. Okay? And like I said, if you need to draw the little hook, loop it back to that 5. And that helps you find the hour. Please do. Okay? Loop it back. Good. Half past 5. Okay, let's try another problem. I'm going to get ready on the clock. If you can see it, start looking on the screen. Okay, here we go. Right away, what should be clicking in our brain? That long minute hand is pointing straight down. Meaning we can read this time as half past halfway. That's why they did half yellow, half white, to show you it's half the time, half the hour, half the clock. Half hour, half past. Then we look at the short hour hand. What hour is it half past?
9.
Very good, Kaylee. 11. Yes, because you start at 12 and go around the clock. Does 11, which number is going to come first? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It was 11, okay? And to kind of help you envision it, I'll just back it up. So it was 11 o'clock. Then time moves forward. Okay? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, half an hour. Even though that hour hand's moved a little bit, imagine looping it back to see that it's half past what hour? 11. Good. So then we write that on our learning packet. Half past 11. We write that there. 11. Good. Okay. Nice job. Hopefully we're starting to continue to see the pattern of whenever we see that long minute hand pointing straight down, one of the ways we can read that time is by reading it as half past, then finding the hour. Making sure that we read the hour very carefully. Okay? Think about as that hour hand moves around the clock, what number did it hit first, basically? Okay? Even though the hour hand might be in the middle, think about the hour it started from. Okay? Hopefully that'll help us. We have 4 more problems to practice. Let's keep doing it.
Okay.
Here we are with our last 4 problems for this lesson video. Okay? Let's continue doing our best to remember that when that long minute hand is pointing straight down, one of the ways we could read that time is by reading as half past what hour. Okay? Let's continue that for these next 4 problems. The last 2 problems especially, I'm going to give you lots of think time for you to try it. Okay? Well, mostly just the last one. This one's a little tricky, but we'll get there. Okay? Looking up here at problem 9. Maybe you can see it on the screen. Not also have it here on the clock. Okay? Whoop, right away. Where is that long minute hand pointing? Straight down. Okay? Usually if it's pointing anywhere else, we can read the hour hand first. But when that long minute hand is pointing straight down, we're going to read it as half past. Then we got to find what hour. Okay? Half past what hour? I see it's between 8 and 9. Okay? Which of those 2 numbers comes first when you're counting around the clock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which number as you're going around the clock comes first?
8.
8. Yes, we always go in that direction. 8 comes first, meaning it's half past 8. Imagine looping that short hour hand back. It's 8. Okay? And then Miss Nickel, even though this isn't how time works, I'm just going to move back. See, it was 8 o'clock. Then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes pass. Even though 30 minutes pass and the hour hand's moved a little bit, it hasn't hit that 9 yet, meaning it's still in the hour of 8. Okay? Half past 8. Good. So then we're going to do our best to write that on our learning packet. That looks a little funky. Try that again. Okay, not the best. I know yours is going to be better, but it's supposed to be an 8, okay? Half past 8. Good. Okay, start looking at problem 10. Gonna get it ready here. It almost looks similar to the last one, but we're not going to let that trick us, okay?
Yeah.
Right away, I see that the long minute hand's pointing straight down, meaning one of the ways we can read this time is by reading it as half past what hour? I see the hour hands between a 7 and an 8. going around the clock, which number would that hour hand have landed or hit or touched first? The hour hand might have started here, then went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which of those two numbers did it hit first?
6.
7. So that's how we know our hour. It's 7:30. Or imagine looping or hooking it back. 7:30.
Okay.
Good. So then we go ahead, write that on our learning pad. 7:30. I'll try my best. 7:30. Good. And maybe if you want to draw it on your learning packet, take that hour hand, loop it back. Okay? Back to the 7, where it started moving from. Good. Okay. Let's look at problem number 11. This one might be the trickiest one yet, but we can do it, okay? And then you'll be definitely ready to try number 12 by yourself, okay? Start looking at number 11 on the screen if you can, while I get it ready on the bigger clock. Okay, here we go. We see right away that the minute hand is pointing where? Straight up or straight down this time?
Down.
Straight down. That means, oh, one of the ways you could read this time is by actually kind of starting with the minutes. You can see it's halfway through the hour. So you read it as 1/2 past. Then what hour is it 1/2 past? It's kind of between the 12 and the 1. This could be a tricky one, okay? Let me give you a hint. When you start around the clock, you're going to start at the very top at 12. So if you start around the clock, 12, then it goes to 1. Which number does the hour hand really hit first? It starts at the 12, so what hour did it come from? 12. Yeah, it was 12. Good. 12:30. And then I know this is the opposite way. We're gonna pretend we back up time. Reverse, so go the wrong way. It was 12 o'clock. Maybe remember that from the last lesson. And then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes passed. We see that long minute hand pointing straight down. And even though that hour hand moved a little bit, it still is part of what hour right now? 12. 1/2, cut right in half, 1/2 Okay, I know that's definitely a tricky one, okay? But hopefully, since we've even done this probably trickiest one with you, you might be a little more ready to try the next and last problem, okay? Start looking up here at the screen. Gonna get it ready for you on the clock. Kaylee and I are gonna give you lots of think time, okay? As you do your best to read time to the 1/2 hour. Okay. Right away, we notice that long minute hand is pointing straight down. So we can read this time. One of the ways we can read this time is 1/2. Now here's where I give you quiet time. It's 1/2 what hour? Look where the hour hand is. It's 1/2 what hour? You gotta think very carefully where that hour hand started, okay? And where it's moved since 30 minutes or half an hour has passed. 1/2 what hour? Kayla and I will give you some quiet time as you think it through. Okay, maybe that was enough think time. If not, please feel free to pause us. Okay, keep that answer in your head. We're going to double check it. We agreed it's half past what hour? When you're going around the clock, which number would you come upon first? 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which of those two numbers, 4 or 5, would that hour hand have passed first?
4.
4. Very good. So it's half past 4. And if that's what you were saying, you're thinking, great job. If maybe you didn't quite get it yet, that's okay. You'll have plenty more practice through your learning package. But yep, half past, half of the hour, half past 4. You can even envision a little hook or arrow going back, because it was 4 o'clock, then 30 minutes past, half past 4. Good job, and all that's left to do is write that on our learning packet. Good job, okay? Well, hopefully we've had lots of practice in how we can read time. One of the ways we can read time when that long minute hand is pointing straight down is by reading it as half past and finding the hour, okay?
Yeah.
Nice job. Well, hopefully this has helped so you'll be ready to continue reading time. Please practice on your little clocks at home. Practice reading clocks you might see around your house. Practice with your learning packets. And just keep trying the best you can, okay? Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your remote learning day. Bye.
Take care.